Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside Scotia 1. You're watching the Black History Month celebration game in the Nova Scotia U15 Major Hockey League between the Cougars and the host Harbour Rage. My name is Mason Denike. Happy to give you the coverage here this evening. A beautiful opening ceremony to celebrate and honor Black History Month as it is coming to a close. This is the last day of the second month of the calendar year, that being February. Thank you to all the special guests who took part in that pregame ceremony, but we're ready to go to play some hockey now. Rage versus Cougars. Coast and Gold will get the start net, number 00 in white. The rookie netminder, well, 200 feet the other way, it'll be number 30. That is Rylan Landry getting the start for the Jonelijim Cougars. Cougars have a bit of a depleted lineup. They got into a bit of a brouhaha up in North Sydney a few weekends ago. They're still serving some suspensions. Got a few APs in the lineup, including Matt Hutt, who will take the opening faceoff on left wing. And we are underway live from Harbour Place here in Scotia 1. Thank you so much for watching. Cougars and Rage here on High Button Sports as Parks will take the puck in his own zone, looking up for Timmins, and there's a collision at the blue line. Rage able to stay on sign. That's going to be chipped in deep. Here's Barry. Dylan Barry will take a hit in front of his own net. A physical start here in Harbour. That's going to be a penalty on the play as Baldwin will head to the box for tripping. Timmins fell to the ice. So an early power play for the Cougars. Just 23 seconds in. McPhee, Bourgogne, Lewis, and Carroll will be the penalty killers for the Rage, while Barry, Braun, Timmins, Marsh, and Sam Graves will head out there for the man advantage. Expect the puck to be moved over to number 8, Graves, on the top of the circle on the right side. That's where he likes to shoot it. Here he is. Here's Graves' shot off the blocker of Gould. So just as I predicted, a shot from Graves on the top of the circle on the far side wall. That's going to be cleared down the ice. Tripping for Baldwin is the call. Rager killing off the penalty in the early goings. That's going to be intercepted and poked back in the zone by Bryce Carroll. Out to play it is Landry. He leaves it for Barry. Barry will slow things down from behind his own net. Rage will make a few changes. So will the Cougars. Pass over. There's Graves. He'll chip it into the zone. Foot race for the puck. Carroll looking to get that first. He'll go over to Lewis. Lewis will hold on to the puck behind his own net, looking to clear the puck, and he will get the puck down the ice. Past Linus Braun, the Austrian-born defenseman. Landry have to play it again. Chevry will join the forecheck for the Harbour Rage. Here's Braun. Sent over to the far side. Here come the Cougars. Pass towards the middle. Shot on! That one hits the iron. Might have got a piece of Gould's, but that stays out. That's going to be cleared down. 50 seconds to go on the power play for the Cougars. Here's Dylan Dixon. The rookie will fan on a first attempt on the passing. He'll make a play over as White will intercept, and then he'll play it down for Trudell, who will send it right down the ice. 35 seconds to go in the power play for the Cougars. Here is Dixon in his own corner. Will chip it ahead to himself. He finds Parks in the wall. Parks looking to go cross ice, holds on to the puck. Parks still has the puck, number 24 in blue. He'll play it across, finds Sims. Sims will get pinned to the boards. Alfred with the puck, sent in around the wall. Trudell against Buckley for the loose puck. Battle ensues right in front of the Rage side of the crowd here in Scotia 1. That's going to come free as Buckley will take a hit into the boards. 2-on-2 on the wall as we're back to 5-on-5. Ball went out of the box. Akai Simon will enter the game. Poked free. Centering pass will be fanned down from behind the net. Buckley will hit Norris in the wall. Play to the half boards. That's going to be intercepted. Chance to clear, and that will escape the zone as Dixon was retreating to neutral ice. Here's Dixon. His pass will go off a stick into the neutral zone. Here come the Cougars trying to get by the defender as Parks. Let a shot go past the blocker side and wide of Gould. Here's Simon. He'll look to clear. It's going to be kept in by Matt Hutt as the Rage will regain possession. Donaldson gets the puck. He'll lose it. Parks will send it back towards the Rage zone. There's Lucas Dando. He'll play it in deep. There's Barry. Dylan Barry gets by the first defender. He'll carry the puck to neutral ice through the middle, enters the zone. That's going to be off of his stick. Comes free for Timmins. Play to the line. Here's Graves. Back for Timmins. Intercepted. Here come the Rage. Lucas Dando has the puck. Will play to the middle. Partial break for Donaldson. He's all alone. Donaldson trying to get loose, and that's going to be a whistle as the goaltender, Rylan Landry, makes the save. You might have thought that Donaldson was disrupted on his way through, but referee did not have that same opinion, so we'll play on a 5-on-5. Going to be honest, folks, you're going to hear a very biased call tonight, as I am a part of the Rage staff. So apologies for you watching over in North Sydney. That's just the way it's going to go tonight. I'll try my best to be right in the middle, but no promises. Baldwin will take the face-off inside the Cougar zone against Timmins. As there's a shot from distance to go wide past the blocker side of Landry. There's a hit along the wall from Price. Pretty physical player, number 27 in white. As Braun will find the puck, looking to play it over for Matt Hutt. That's going to miss his stick. Here's Lewis. Charlie Lewis, number 77 for the Rage. Assistant captain, playing his second year of U15 hockey. He'll flip it through the middle of the ice. Puck will bounce its way into the zone. Great flick play from Charlie Lewis. There's a hit on the forecheck from Arsenault. Physical start here for the Rage. The message from the coaching staff from here on out this season was you got to play hard, you got to finish your hits. This playoff hockey is right around the corner. That's going to be cleared off the glass, past Beaton. That will make its way onto the stick of Colson Gold, the goaltender. He'll leave it for Carroll. Here comes Bryce Carroll, the captain for the Rage. Takes it through center, enters his zone on the right side. Carroll still has it. Shot, fan down, rebound will be sent just wide. As we're approaching the 5-minute mark of the opening frame. Great pace to start this one off. The only whistle was to blow it down for the penalty. Not many other stoppages. Nice play by Surratt. He'll try and clear. Takes a hit from Simon. Comes free in neutral ice. Here is Dylan Dixon, the defenseman. He has the puck. He'll send it in deep. That will boomerang its way around the wall inside the Rage zone. Simon back to retrieve it. He'll ship it off the glass. Comes free for Chevry. Here's Landon Chevry, the rookie. He'll make a move to neutral ice. Enters the zone through the middle. Chevry will let a shot go off the pad and rebound covered up, and that will stop play. With 10:07 to go in the first. What a start to this game. As we'll adjust it to 10:03. Approaching the 5-minute mark of the first. Cougars in Rage here on High Button Sports. A great way to end our Saturday night. We've had full coverage of the best hockey across Atlantic Canada so far for you this weekend. All free on YouTube, of course, and we continue to do so as the season winds down. Here's Chevry in the corner. Will make his way past the defender. Still has the puck. He'll eventually turn it over. Here come the Cougars. Parks will play it through the middle. That's going to be off the stick of Marsh. Nakai Simon will regroup in center for the Rage. Here comes Simon. Will take it wide. Makes a nice move to get the puck in deep. Picked up. Here's Dixon. Dixon will cycle it. Comes free for White. The turnover. Center pass will be sticked away by Barry. Here's Chevry in the corner. He'll take a hit on the wall. Puck comes free. Here's Parks. He'll play it through the middle of the ice. Puck finds a stick of Dylan Barry. Here come the Cougars. They might have numbers, but it's going to be chipped into the zone. Norris against Marshall. Loose puck comes free on the goal line. There's a chance at the shoulder of Gould. That one stays out. Body's down behind the net. Cougars have it. Sent towards the slot as nobody was there to pick up to the forward in front. Here's Braun. Shot will go wide of the net. Past the shoulder, high and wide off the glass. That's going to be sent towards the goal. Sticked away by Dando. Cougars have it at the top. Nice move at the blue line by Sam Graves. So let the shot go. It's going to be smothered by Colson Gould, and that will be a whistle. 8:59 to go in the first period. Cougars in Rage. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Cougars got in a little bit of a Donnybrook over in North Sydney about a month ago against the Dartmouth Whalers. Both sides are still serving their suspensions. Cohen Geyser, the top scorer, or one of the top scorers for the Cougars, is out for what will probably be the rest of the season. He took a 15-gamer about 2 weekends ago, and Cougars have been suffering since losing one of their best players, but they still got a lineup here tonight. They're looking to finish the season strong. They're in the bottom tier of the standings, so are the Rage, so both teams looking to advance as the regular season winding down. Only a couple of weekends left before playoffs. That puck will come free inside the Cougar zone. Braun will get there first. There's Linus Braun. Has Bourgogne in on the forecheck. Braun makes a nice move to get by him. Plays it up ahead. That's going to be picked off by Donaldson. Donaldson towards the middle as Bourgogne was tangled up. There goes Lewis. Shot from the point will go off the body and out of play. Good look there from Lewis in the blue line. Trying to get that one through the barrage in front. Still scoreless here in Cole Harbour. 8:17 to go in the first. Cruz Baldwin line will head out there for this ozone draw alongside Blake Price and Arsenault. Puck is dropped. Scrum draw is going to be Played back to the corner. Marsh back to retrieve for the Cougars. Marsh has Arsenault looking to lay the body. Does so. Gets a piece. That will free up the puck. Battle ensues on the wall. Arsenault pinning his man to the boards. There's a scrum right in front of the referee who saw the cage of Arsenault go up and did not call a penalty. And that's going to be played on net as Arsenault pleading his case as he should. His helmet was definitely touch of a stick. No call on the play. 8 minutes to go now in the opening frame. Baldwin will stay out there with Price and Arsenault. Puck will be won back for the Cougars. Here is Dylan Dixon. They'll go D to D. Ends up on the stick of Matt Hutt. That's going to be played along the wall as a hit will free up the puck. That will be cleared out of the zone. Here is Dixon. Will play it back in his own end. Dixon will fire it up the wall. Arsenault able to collect it. He'll try and dump it in deep. Fans on it. Eventually gets it into the zone. Dixon gets it right back. D to D over to line is Braun. Here's Braun. Will go off the wall. Comes free neutral ice. That's going to be chipped up ahead. Puck is bouncing. Bat out of midair by Baldwin. Able to corral that puck is Surratt. Dixon has it again for the Cougars. Here comes Dylan Dixon shifting his way through the neutral ice. Dixon's shot will go off the pad. Rebound was right there in front as that hit a funny part of the pad of Colson Gold, but his captain was able to clear it out of harm's way. Still 0-0 as Dando can handle the pass. Comes free inside the rage zone. Played in deep. Here is Bryce Carroll. Will look to make a play. Good hit on the forecheck for number 22. That's Ty Timmins having himself a great start to this game. Here comes Nakai Simon the other way. Simon will try and get by the defender wide, but he gets hit off the puck by Braun. He'll try and make an escape move. Out of the corner, gets hit along the wall by Simon. Puck comes free. Simon has it. Simon in the middle for Chevry. Pass down low is going to be picked off by Braun. Here is Linus Braun with the puck for the Cougars. Pass up ahead. That's going to bounce off the stick of Jonas Surratt. Played back in deep by Trudell on the center ice red line. Here's Dixon. Pass across. He finds Marsh. Marsh looking for Wilson. Finds him. Here come the Cougars. Wilson will take it wide. Wilson on the goal line now gets hit by Norris into the corner. Puck comes free at the collision down low. Norris gets taken down. Arm stays down as well. There's a pass up for Simon. It's going to be chipped off the skate of Sims. Cougars are offside, forced to retreat. Here's Trudell with the pass from Chevry. It's going to be chipped off the glass. Graves able to corral on his own blue line. Here comes Sam Graves, the offensive defenseman, the captain as well. He'll play it over for O'Neill, gets it back. Graves will work his way through. Shot low. This goes wide past the blocker's side. Here's Sims up top. Takes a hit from Bourgogne inside the Rage bench. That's going to come free. Here's Norris up for Bourgogne. Dominic Bourgogne has the puck as he's the only man on the ice for the Rage as they're changing. Turned over. Here's Donaldson. Nash Donaldson takes a hit, and that's going to make its way into the corner of the Cougar zone. Vinny Sims looking to clear. Buckley finds it down low. Comes free for Donaldson. Shot will go wide of the net after deflection. 5.5 to go in the first. Here's Carroll off the pass from Bourgogne. Carroll's shot looking to go through the screen. Will just go wide. There is Hutt. He'll take a reverse hit as Donaldson trying to get in on the forecheck. Hutt gets it right back. Hutt will drop it off of the line, gets it back. Hutt will let a shot go at the pad. Rebound! Kept out. Gould didn't know he had it. It's on the side of the net. That will be bounced off the cage behind the net. Here is Buckley. Kellen Buckley to the line. Braun will let a one-timer go on goal. It's going to be stopped by Gould. Price will collect the rebound for the Rage. Here is Blake Price. He has the puck. Enters the zone on the right side and gets it through to the defender. Price pass across as he had Donaldson in front but hit the stick of the goaltender. Nice job by Landry to alleviate that chance. There's a shot from Danda from the blue line. It's going to be sticked away by Landry, who's using his twig in success tonight. Puck inside the Cougar zone. Captain in the line for Lewis. Timmins loses it for Price. Price will get poked off the puck by Matt Hutt. Here come the Cougars with it now again. There's a hit along the wall. Dando finds a loose puck on his own blue line. Here's Lucas Dando, second-year defenseman, will chip it into the zone off the pad. Rebound is created. There's a chance for Arsenault spinning across for Price, who just deflected it wide. This line has been buzzing so far for the Rage tonight. Baldwin, Price, and Arsenault. And that's going to be kept in by Lewis of the blue line. Good job from number 77 to hold the zone. Landry loses it on the net. Here's Baldwin. Baldwin looking to find the loose puck. Arsenault joins the battle down low. Linus Braun will collect the puck out of the corner. Pass to the middle. Here is Timmins. He'll look to start the rush for the Cougars. It's going to be played back as Barry will send it down the ice. Lewis collects it in his own zone. Lewis Over to Arsenault, one-touch pass for Chevry just out of his reach, as that's going to be played back towards the Rage zone. Dando will intercept. Pass will go through the air, looking for Nakai Simon. That'll be chipped into the zone. Here's Graves. Graves will walk into the bottom of the circle. It's taken down. Another penalty against the Rage. That's 2 in a row for the Cougars. And that's going to be still, and that'll eventually be touched up and whistled down. So Hooking's the call. Will go against Arsenault. Another power play for the Cougars. 3:17 to go in the first period. Great pace of this game so far. Two teams battling out at the bottom of the standings, looking to climb the rankings late in the season. Barry, Timmins, Marsh, Braun, and of course Sam Graves will be out there for this power play. Once again, look for Sam Graves to get that puck at the top of the circle on the far side as the Rage win the draw and they clear it right down the ice. Landry leave it for Braun. Here's Linus Braun. He'll start the rush on the Cougars power play. Their second of the night. They did not score in their first attempt, as it is still 0-0. That'll be intercepted by the Rage, sent towards the Cougars zone. Here is Braun. Linus Braun has his chin strap undone, still out there for this power play. He finds Barry on the near side wall. He'll try and get by Chevry, but that's going to be picked off by Norris and sent right back down the ice. Good penalty killing so far for Cole Harbour here at home. 1:20 to go on the Lewis penalty. Here is O'Neill. O'Neill will make a move as he enters the zone. O'Neill will drag and shoot one and scores! Cougars open the scoring on the power play. Lachlan O'Neill, toe drag release past the glove of goal. It's Cougars. They're up 1-0. Beautiful move to confuse the goaltender. O'Neill, number 19 in blue, changes his angle on the shot with the drag move and gets it by Gould, and it is 1-0 for the Jonelijim Group Cougars here on the road. 2:31 remaining in the opening frame. Cougars get first blood here in Cole Harbour. Now there's a hit on Bourgogne by Sims on the blue line. Dixon collects the puck from his goaltender. Pass to the line, kept in. Here's Dando. Shot up high. Will go over the glove and hits the glass behind the net. Carroll able to hold the line. Sent in deep. There's Buckley. Carroll finishes his hit on Sims. Cycled back in deep. McPhee looking for the puck on the forecheck against Buckley. There's a hit in the corner. Comes free. Here is Dixon. We'll play it over for Vinny Sims. Sims will chip it off the glass. That's going to be kept into the zone. O'Neill, the goal scorer, has the puck in the face-off circle in his own end. That's going to be played through the middle. Here come the Cougars. Buckley one-on-one with Dando. Buckley will lose his ground and it gets taken out of the zone. Good defensive play by number 9 in white. Here comes Donaldson. Donaldson takes it wide on the entry. Will try and chip it in deep. Takes a hit from Graves. Dando into the forecheck. Will play the puck towards the middle, looking for Bourgogne. Picked off by Kellen Buckley. Good stick in his own zone. Here comes Buckley with it now. Cougars have a 1-0 lead with 1.5 to go in the period. That will make its way in the corner. Carroll will get to the puck first. Takes a hit along the boards. That will free up the puck for the Cougars. Here is Wilson behind the net. Gets tangled up with Baldwin. As there's a hit along the wall. Played up the line. Donaldson gets there first. He'll chip it down the ice. That will make its way on net, so that will be no icing. Raid get a free change. That's going to be played towards the corner as Price was looking for that loose puck. Cycled back in deep. Here's Parks with it now. Parks with 1 minute to go in the period. Sent up ahead. That's going to be chipped into the zone by McNeil. No icing is a signal from the linesman. Norris back to retrieve it as Parks in on the forward check. Parks will try and get by Norris as there's a bit of a battle in the corner. Comes free. Here's Buckley. Kellen Buckley as McNeil has the puck. McNeil will cycle it in deep. Norris looking to get to the puck as he can't get there first. Eventually gets to the puck. That's going to be played to the blue line. That will escape the zone. Cougars have it as Sam Graves will play it into the zone. 30 seconds to go in the period. Here's Charlie Lewis behind his own net. Lewis will get by the first defender. Makes him fall behind the net. 20 seconds to go in the period. Here's Lewis over to Arsenault. He'll poke it into the zone. Braun first on the puck for the Cougars. We'll take a hit from Arsenault on the forecheck. Comes free for Baldwin. Baldwin has the puck behind the net looking to make a play. He takes a body from a Cougar. Here's a wraparound Chent towards the goal. Price didn't have a stick on the ice. Couldn't get the shot off. 5 seconds to go in the period. One last chance. Retreat out from the blind. That's going to be blocked. That's going to do it for the first 15 minutes of play. You're watching High Button Sports. Cougars and Rage right to the break. A very quick one. No Zamboni Flood. We'll be back in just a moment.
This stream is brought to you by Mr. Donaire. Bring that classic Donaire flavor home in minutes with Mr. Donaire's Donaire Kit, the original East Coast Donaire. Perfect for game night. Want the full setup? Mr. Donaire makes its own Donaire sauce, Donaire dunkers, and Donaire sausages. And don't forget the Mr. Donaire pizza when you want it simple and fast. You can grab Mr. Donaire at Costco, Sobeys, Giant Tiger, Superstore, Gateway, and Needs. Mr. Donaire, game night made easy. Now, back to the action.
Welcome back inside Harbour Place. Second period about to get going. Just the one goal to report. As it was Lachlan O'Neill who opened the scoring with a toe drag release shot on the power play to make it 1-0. 2 penalties for the Rage in that period. That continues to be a theme for them this year, taking penalties and getting scored on the penalty kill. Pretty fast-paced opening period. Both sides had some good chances. Colson Gold stood tall in net for the Rage, as he usually does, number 00. And Rylan Landry had himself a great period as well, number 30 for the Cougars. This will make his way back to the crease, but on the other side, as the teams will switch sides for the second period, of course. Long change in effect in this second period. Chevry will take the opening draw against Ty Timmins. 20 minutes of hockey about to get underway as the puck drops, and we are up and running here in period number 2. Cougars win it back. Barry will go D to D over to Vinny Sims. He'll try and play it to neutral ice. Pinching through is Carroll. He'll get a piece of the puck. Sims gets it back. Sims enters the zone on the near side. Will play it in the corner. Takes a hit from Trudell. Gets taken down. Here's Marsh behind the net. As no call, as Trudell was obviously held in the corner. Here comes Simon. He'll take it wide. Simon pass towards the goal. Tipped on a rebound. Scores! Nakai Simon let the original shot go. And it's going to be Alex White for the second straight game scoring a goal for the Rage. His second of the year. We're all square here in Scotia 1. Great job from Simon to drive the net hard. Creates a rebound off the pad of Landry. And right there, Johnny on the spot was Alex White, number 91. The assistant captain has scored in back-to-back games for Cole Harbour. And we're all back to even in Scotia 1. As Danda will chip it on goal. That's going to make its way in front. As watch out for those rebounds from Landry. They've been sitting right in front of it all game long. Here comes Buckley. Will get by Lewis, but takes a piece of him. Comes free in the corner. Here's Bonar. He'll get poked off the puck. Here's McPhee. McPhee will play it up for Donaldson. Donaldson has the puck on his own blue line. As that's going to be a hit on him. Buckley gets the puck, plays it back to his captain, Graves. It's 1-1 here in Cole Harbour. A early second period of goal for the Rage has tied things up. Here's Graves. Shot will go through the blue paint. Looking to bang that one on the back door was Buckley. Dixon will play it around the wall. Here's O'Neill. O'Neill makes a nice move in the circle. Gets poked off by Bourgogne. Here's Lewis. Sent up ahead for Baldwin. Kept in at the line by Graves. Looks like a hit from Bourgogne. Lewis looking at the puck out. Comes free in the slot. Sent towards the net. As that's going to come free again for O'Neill. Shot will go off a few bodies in front. As Lachlan O'Neill having himself a great start to this game. Here's Graves, who's had himself a great season overall for the Cougars. He'll cycle in deep. Lewis wins the battle. Will chip it up ahead. Here comes Charlie Lewis. Will sauce it over to Donaldson, but that's going to be poked off by Graves. Puck bouncing neutral ice. Here is Sam Graves, number 8 for the Cougars. Has the puck. Shot will go into the chest of Gould, and he'll make no mistake and cover things up. It's 1-1 here early in the second. No shot clock here at Scotia 1, but I'd say they're pretty even on both sides. Timmins will take the draw against Baldwin inside the Rage zone. Puck dropped. Battle ensues. Norris will play it for Price. As Price bobbled the puck on the wall, it's going to be played back towards the Cole Harbour zone. Pochek will free up the puck. Carroll gets it in his own end. Carroll will play it over for Nathan Norris. Norris up for Price. Price one-touch pass for Baldwin. Baldwin over to Arsenault. Perfect breakout for the Rage. That's going to be poked off Arsenault's stick and played back and in there end-to-end as Carroll wins the battle. Up for Braun. Braun will Chip it ahead, takes a hit from Baldwin. Puck comes free. Here's Parks trying to find Timmins as Carroll makes a play with his defensive stick. Comes free at the blue line. Both teams looking to get that puck, and that's eventually going to be dumped in by the Cougars. Here's Nathan Norris. Norris looking to advance the puck as Price will chip it off the boards. Price had a bit more time to make a play there on the wall. That's going to be sent up ahead. Norris back to retrieve it. Nathan Norris, the rookie defenseman, number 10 for the Rage, will go D-to-D over to his captain, Carroll. Carroll up through center. That's going to be offside at the line. So Chevry looking for that breakaway pass, but the linesman deemed it was offside, in his opinion, not mine. We're about 3 minutes into the second. It's 1-1 here in Cole Harbour. Great game on hand tonight. Two teams close in proximity in the standings. McNeil against Chevry for the draw. Puck is dropped. It's going to be one back ahead. Here is Simon up through the middle for Chevry. Chevry will pass across, looking for Dando, who is pinching through. Couldn't get that cleanly. Here's a shot blocked. Chance the other way. Here come the Cougars. As Hutt looking to get the puck, he will. Hutt as Wilson with him. Hutt towards the goal. Bounces his way towards the crease, but that will be kept out. Cycle back in deep. As Wilson gets tangled up with Dando. Here's Hutt. The AP forward will finish his hit on Chevry. No call on the play. Cougars have it. Here's Wilson. Takes a hit from Dando. Pass to the line. Here's Graves. Graves will fake the shot. Plays it over to Sims. Sims' shot will be tipped on goal. Gould makes the save, and there's a scrum in front of the net. A lot of bodies parked in front of the Rage crease. Gould able to see it through the barrage and cover things up for the whistle. Just over 3.5 minutes in to the second. It's 1-1 here in Cole Harbour. Rage scored an early goal in this period from Alex White, number 91, to tie the game. Lachlan O'Neill scored at the end of the first period to open the scoring on the power play. Here's a shot that will be stopped by Gould as Matt Hutt had himself a great game for the Cougars. The AP forward, number 11 in blue, with another shot there. He's definitely noticeable out there tonight. So he'll head for a change. O'Neill line back out there with Buckley and Jonas Surratt, who has no name bar himself, so I assume he's also a call-up. I mentioned before the Cougars are dealing with a lot of suspensions right now. They got into a brawl over in North Sydney about a month ago against the Whalers. They're still feeling the effects of that in their lineup. Puck comes free on the wall. McPhee against the Cougar, the player there. That's going to be cleared down the ice, and that will be an icing call, or no icing on the play, as Donaldson able to get back just in time. Hit will free at the puck. Buckley will take over as Lewis finds a neutral ice. He'll send it back in deep. As we're 4 minutes into the second period. Pass towards the goal. That will go off the skate of Buckley, well defending his own crease. Cougars looking to move the puck up the ice. That will be played into the feet of Carroll, as he'll make them play into the middle of the ice. There's Buckley, sends it back for Graves. His captain will look up ice looking for a lane. Plays it on the wall in the no-see zone here right below us. Try my best to get a good view of that as Buckley will turn it over. Puck is bouncing, and it will bounce onto the stick of Buckley again. Here comes the Cougars. Buckley will take it wide past Carroll, puts the brakes on. So his teammates are changing. Buckley will cycle in deep. McPhee will intercept it. McPhee will play it over across for Blake Price. Will get the red line. Now the blue. Price will try and tip it in the zone as battle ensues with him and Dixon. Dixon plays over to Braun. Braun battling against Baldwin for the loose puck. Sent up ahead. There's a hit from Arsenault. A lot of those here tonight so far. So come the Cougars. Here's Surratt. As they'll lose the puck. Dando takes over. Dando up for Price. Price will direct it into the Cougar zone. Dixon against Price for the loose puck. As Dixon gets there first, as his pass will go off the wall. Kept in by Beaton. Puck comes free up top. Here comes Timmins with it now for the Cougars. Plays it over. Cougars have numbers. Here is a pass towards the goal. That's going to be intercepted, and that will be played to the wall. Here is Baldwin up for Price. They'll go off his skate. Blake Price will chip it into the zone. Still tied at ones here in Cole Harbour. Dixon has it by his own net. Baldwin will collect the turnover. Cougars get it right back. Here's Timmins over to Braun. Linus Braun, number 27, will lead the rush for the Cougars. The defenseman is skating the puck up ice. Still has it. Braun fakes the shot. Eventually he shoots one off. That's going off the side of the net. Gets it right back. Played up ahead. Here's Timmins. Shot will go wide of the net. There to pick up the puck is Benar. He'll play it through the middle off the stick of White as Braun able to hold the line. Play down low. Here's Timmins. Great shift for the Cougars in the O zone. Timmins back up top for Braun. His shot will go off the stick, and that will be deflecting in the corner. There's a body down on the ice for the Rage, and eventually they will blow things down. As medical staff will head to the ice. As they assess the injured player, Simon looks to be back up on his feet, so medical staff will head back to the bench as number 5 for the Rage looks to be okay. 13:41 to go in the second. 1-1 is the score here in Cole Harbour. Rage against the Cougars. U15 major action on a Saturday night. The last day of February, Rage are hosting their Black History Month celebration night here this evening. You probably tuned in for that pregame ceremony. You saw the special guest on hand. There will be a interview with Dean Smith. I had a chance to talk to him before the game about his role of Hockey Nova Scotia in the diversity and inclusion program. So stay tuned in the intermission to watch that, if you please. Sent in deep by Chevry. Gets the puck right back. Here's a chance through the wraparound as that nearly got through the goaltender. It's still 1-1. Cougars have it. Here is Graves. Play to the middle. Here's Wilson. Wilson will take it wide. Trying to get by the defender. Wilson takes it behind the net. Takes a hit from Chevry to the center. Playing back as Norris looking to poke the puck loose. He does. Here's Bourgogne on the wall. He'll chip it ahead. Turns it over. Takes a hit. Cougars have it. There's Parks. Will fake the drop pass. Holds on to the puck. Sent towards the goal. That will deflect into the corner. There's a shot from the corner, and that will squeak through goal. Cougars regain the lead. Bit of a soft one there from number 20. That is Dylan Barry. Through the 5-hole, number 00. And the Jonelijim Cougars are back up top. Puck's on net. It's a great strategy. You never know what's going to squeak through, and that one did through the 5-hole of goal. Who probably should have had it, but you can't make every save. You can't be perfect. Got to remember, these kids are U15. They're still developing. Goulday, first year goaltender. He's had a great season, but sometimes they squeak past him just like that, and that's something he'll have to work on as he heads into his second year next season. So 2-1 for the Cougars. They just iced the puck, so the faceoff will be in their own zone. McPhee will take the draw against Kellen Buckley. It's going to be one back. Here's Price. He'll get there first. Makes a move behind the net. Blake Price. Play to the line for Charlie Lewis. He'll let a shot go from the point that will go over the blocker. Here's Carroll as that boomeranged around the wall. Carroll will play it in deep, looking for Donaldson as that will be intercepted by the Cougars. Here's Kellen Buckley. Buckley over to Dixon. Dixon up ahead for Hutt. Ooh. Will make the play over to Buckley. Here comes Kellen Buckley through the middle of the ice. Falls down. Carroll will take over. Bryce Carroll with a head of steam for the Rage. Will start the rush. Here comes Captain Carroll through the middle of the ice, galloping his way down into the zone. Shot will go off the glove. Braun there to collect the rebound. Here's Hutt. Up for Buckley. Kellen Buckley. As we're 8 minutes into the second, Carroll on the back check will intercept the pass. Comes free for Dylan Dixon, the Cougars defenseman. Played up for Hutt, trying to toe drag by Baldwin. Does so. Nice move. As Arsenault will poke it back to Charlie Lewis on his own blue line. Lewis gets by the defender, makes another nice move, gets taken down, and where's the call? That's going to be offside. A very one-sided game in terms of officiating. We've seen that all year long here in Cole Harbour. It's kind of a shame. So still 5-on-5, still 2-1. Face-off will be neutral ice. Marsh against Baldwin. After the offside, no tripping call at the blue line. Here's Norris as the Rage win the face-off. Up for Simon. He'll poke it ahead for Baldwin. That's going to be up and high in the air. No high sticker now. They do call it, so that will stop play. Baldwin will take the draw inside the offensive zone. against Marsh. Puck hits the ice. Scrum draw sent towards the goal by Arsenal. It's going to be sticked away by Landry, the netminder. Chance to clear. Norris can't hold the line. That's going to be sent up to the middle off the stick of Bonar, and Baldwin will backhand one into the zone. Here's Graves. Sam Graves, nice move to get by the forechecker, so he'll lead the rush. He takes a spill, and that's going to be iced down, and that will stop play once again. Sam Graves, a smooth skating defenseman, but he lost his footing there on the breakout. .11:09 to go in the second. You're watching High Button Sports. U15 major action here in Nova Scotia. Rage and Cougars. Cougars had the lead about halfway through the middle period. One back to the line. Here's Dando over to Simon. He'll go skate to stick. Back for Dando up top. Here's Dando with a slap shot through the screen. Gloved down by Landry, who was well out of his crease to make the save and freeze play. Good look there from the Rage on the O-zone face-off design off the icing. Cougars can now make changes. Carroll will replace Norris for this O-zone draw. As the Cougars top line out there, the Rage want to get their captain out against them. Puck dropped. One to the wall. Here's Simon back for Dando. Dando will rim it around the wall as Chevry gets tangled up. Couldn't make the play as he was taken down with a stick. There's White as the only goal for the Rage tonight. Pass in the middle. Will bounce off the stick of Dando. Here come the Cougars, but they can't get the puck. And created a odd man rush is the word I was looking for. A little bit of a brain fart there. Here's White over to Simon, looking to play it up ahead for Chevry. Chevry finds the puck. And then Chevry puts the brakes on, looking for a trailer. Finds Simon. Simon looking to go skate to stick. Simon towards the goal as White couldn't finish off that play. Would have been a beauty to tie the game. That's going to be chipped on the wall. Here is Chevry. As Dando able to hold the line. Here's Chevry again, takes a hit, that'll free up the puck. Here's Nakai Simon now. Simon will shoot one off the shoulder. Rebound right in front of the net. Here's Simon again towards the goal. Rebound hops over the stick of White, who's all over the puck tonight, number 91 in White. Also last name White, wearing a white jersey. As that's going to be kept in by Dando. Eventually that will skip the zone. Here comes Parks, but Carroll gets there first for the Rage. Here comes Bryce Carroll. Nice move to get by the defender. Carroll still has the puck. He'll enter the zone on the far side. Carroll still has it. Here comes Bryce Carroll. Shot, rebound, kept out as well. Landry makes both saves on the captain for the Rage. Bit of a scrum after the whistle once again. Nice little rush there from number 84 in White. As he'll stay out there for the O-zone draw. Or no, Trudell will replace him. We're halfway through the second. Still 2-1. McPhee for the Rage will take the face-off against McNeil. Puck is dropped. One back. Here's Trudell. Leaves it for Lewis. Or Trudell actually makes the play, and that will be played into the netting. Bit of a miscommunication there on the Rage blue line. The theme for them in the pregame meeting was to talk to each other, and don't think they did that there. Of course, I was part of that pregame meeting as a member of the Rage staff. That's why you're hearing a very biased Rage call. Here's Dixon. We'll play it over for Hutt on the wall. Hutt will lose the puck as Trudell can't hold it in. Back to retrieve it on his own blue line is Lewis. Sent up the boards. Battle ensues. That's going to be chipped inside the Cougars bench, and that will stop play. Great crowd on here tonight from Scotia 1. Rage have some of the best attendance in the league. Always seems to be a full capacity crowd on Saturday night in Cole Harbour. Here's Dixon on his own blue line. We'll play it back into his own zone. Dylan Dixon with 9:15 to go in the second period. We'll play over to Hutt. Hutt will clear the zone. Comes free for McNeil, but Lewis gets back just in time to get to the puck first. Here's Lewis, has McNeil on the forward check, causing a stir. That will come free for the Cougars down low. Sent towards the goal. Fanned on is McNeil again. McNeil over to Buckley. Kellen Buckley will play it towards the middle. Here's a shot from Hutt, but he couldn't get it off as McPhee rather, tangled him up. Here comes Lewis the other way. Charlie Lewis will play it towards the middle for Bourgoin. Bourgoin couldn't make the play over to Donaldson, who was streaking towards the goal. Buckley can't clear as Lewis able to hold the line, sent towards the net, picked off. Here come the Cougars. Chance for Buckley as a lane to the net. Buckley will walk in and make a move past Trudell. Shot off the blocker of goal. That's a big save. Number 00. Lewis will play the puck back in his own end. 8.5 to go in the second. Still 2-1. Cougars hold it in. Here's O'Neill's shot will go off the body of Bonar in front. Sent towards the middle. Here's Arsenault as Bourgogne finds the puck poked out of the zone by Arsenault. Dixon over to Graves. Here's Dylan Dixon, enters the zone on the far side wall. Will let a shot go. That will go wide of the net. Here's Trudell. Up for Arsenault on the boards. Arsenault loses it. Played down low as O'Neill couldn't get the pass. Some tough turnovers by the Rage in their own zone. Here's O'Neill streaking towards the goal. Might have gotten hooked there, and there's a makeup call by the referees who have not been calling it the Rage way tonight. Here comes Price. Has the puck in his skates. As he'll lose it for Surratt. Shipped into the zone. Cougars will make some changes. Here's Lewis. Trying to toe drag by Surratt in the forecheck. Can't do so. Here's Surratt behind the net. Will cycle it. Cougars have it. Here's Parks. Plays it up the wall and then cycles it down low for O'Neill. O'Neill will hold on it and shoot one off the stick of Trudell and wide of the net. 7.5 to go in the second. Cougars have it in the O zone as Lewis will find it and flick it out of towards the blue line. It eventually gets to Baldwin. Baldwin gets it back from Price. Here come the Rage of numbers. Baldwin will let a drag shot go up the pass. Scores! Cruz Baldwin was looking for the rebound shot, but it went through the 5-hole. We're all square once again here in Scotia 1. So a weak goal on both sides. It's 2-2 here in Cole Harbour. Cruz Baldwin finds the back of the net through Landry, and we're 2-2 here in Scotia 1. They don't ask how they score, they just ask how many you get. A couple ugly goals consecutively on both sides, and we're back to even Steven here in Cole Harbour. Marshall on the forecheck will get to the puck. He finds Timmins. Timmins will get played in the wall by Simon. Simon, a nice toe drag to get past the defender. Still has the puck. Simon looking for White. That will go off his backhand. Dixon will get there first as that puck came free. Battle ensues. Here's Dixon again. Dylan Dixon will play it across the ice. Finds Marshall. Play it off the wall. 2-on-1 maybe. Here's Marsh. Toe drag shot. Will go wide past the blocker's side. 6.5 to go in the second. Play to the liners. Dixon over for Braun. He'll play it off the wall. Comes free for Nathan Norris. He'll send it over to Carroll, his captain and his deep partner. Carroll finds White. Played over for Nakai Simon. Here comes Simon. He'll get the blue line sent towards the middle as Carroll had that just go out of his reach. That would have been a good look for the captain on his own entry. Here's Chevry. He'll get head out the puck. Timmins will collect for the Cougars as a stretch pass will go off a stick. Here's Lucas Dando. Dando will get the blue line sent towards the goal, blocked. That's going to come free for Linus Braun. Braun, as the Ranger offside, up for Hutt. Hutt gets by the defender, still has it. Hutt through the middle, picked up by McPhee. Here's Jake McPhee, number 93 for the Rage, has the puck in front of his own net, will play it through the middle. That'll make its way onto the stick of Donaldson. 2-on-1 with Bourgogne over across. Here's Bourgogne to the backhand, kept out, rebound cleared away. Good look there from the Rage. They're going to take the first lead of the game for them. Here's a pass towards the slot. Donaldson can accept it. Here's McPhee. Shot low will be off the stick. That's going to be cleared off the glass. Here comes Parks the other way. 1-on-2. Parks gets by Lewis. Parker's all alone on the breakaway. Forehand. Backhand. Kept out. Still 2-2. What great action here back and forth here in Cole Harbour. That's going to be flicked through neutral ice, and that will make its way into the zone. Back to retrieve it is Barry. He'll collect the puck. Trying to get by Bourgogne, who's on the forecheck. Barry fans on it, sent through the middle as Lewis can't get the angle, and that will be an icing call against the Cougars. They cannot change. What a game so far here tonight. 2-2 with less than 5 minutes to go in the second period. Cougars in Rage here on High Button Sports. Baldwin will head back out there. He just scored to tie the game. We'll take the face-off against a tired Cougars group. Comes free. Here's Arsenault. Arsenault's shot will go off a stick, and that will be kept in bounds. Did not make its way into the netting. Cougars still some tolerant bodies out there. Here's Price looking to center it. That's going to come free. Here comes O'Neill. Has a goal in this game already. O'Neill can't get by Lewis. Lewis will flick it down the ice. And that will be no icing on the play. Here is Graves. Sam Graves will go D to D. That will get past the defender. Cougars trying to change. Here's Arsenault. Bobbles the puck. Can't hold the line. That's going to be sent up ahead. Here come the Cougars. Wilson has it. Wilson towards the goal. Off the pad. Rebound cleared away by Lewis on the back check. Hit on the wall. We'll free up the puck for a moment. Battle ensues on the boards. 2-on-2. O'Neill and Buckley against Baldwin and Lewis. Comes free. Here's Blake Price. Has Arsenault with him. Finds him in neutral ice. Arsenault trying to get by the defender. And that's going to be a penalty against the Cougars. And interference will be the signal. So the Rage finally get a power play. And you got to think that's a weird one to call. They've had a lot of opportunities to call one. That's the one they eventually blow down. So regardless, Rage under the power play looking for their first lead of the night. Carroll, Dando, Chevry, Baldwin, and White are the 5 out there for Cole Harbour. Marsh, Timmins, Braun, and Sims will try and defend on the penalty kill. Tie game here late in the second period. Arsenault draws the penalty against Graves. Puck is dropped. Scrum draw. As it's still trying to take it loose. Comes free up top for Dando over to Carroll. Carroll has a step to the net. He'll let a shot go. Blocked in front. Rebound. Bounces its way out the wall, but collected by the Cougars. That's going to be pinned to the boards by Timmins. As Braun has it behind the net. Still behind the cage of the Cougars. Kept in by Dando. Shot will go through the screen. Rebound in the body of Sims, rather. Here's Dando. Put it to the line for White. Back up top for Lucas Dando. Dando has a puck on the power play on the blue line for the Rage. Dando will creep his way inside the zone over to White in the half wall. Back up top for Dando. Dando's fan of the shot. Comes free into the slide. Gets a chance in front. The back door for Chevry. Falls down. Sent in front. One-timer scores! Alex White has 2 goals tonight. He has just given the Rage the lead on the power play. Bit of a messy power play for the Rage, but the puck found the stick of Alex White, who had the whole net to shoot at. He has 2 goals tonight, 3 on the year, and it is 3-2 for Cole Harbour. What a game this has been so far. Rage scoring the power play to take the lead. Here's Lewis. Rage from the face-off. Up for Simon. That's going to bounce over his stick. Buckley collects it. Buckley loses it. Here's Simon as he'll turn it over. Carroll looking to keep it inside the zone. Here's Bryce Carroll. Will shoot one into the glove of Landry, and that will stop play. Inside 3 minutes to go here in Cole Harbour. The Rage have a 1-goal lead. Alex White just scored his second of the night to give the Rage the advantage in this game. McPhee will take the face-off against Buckley inside the Cougar zone. Puck drop, one backers, Donaldson shot will just go wide past the glove. Kept in by Lewis of the blue line. That will go past his stick. The chance the other way as Carroll will get there first. Parks in on the forward check. Parks can't get to the puck as Carroll still has it. Here comes Bryce Carroll. Down the left side will make a nice move. Another nice move. Shot will go into the net as McPhee finds the rebound. That all started with Bryce Carroll, the captain. What a move to get the shot off. McPhee pounces on the loose puck and the Rage are up by 2. Great burst of offense from Cole Harbour here in the second period. 4 goals on the night for them. You can't say that too often. 2.5 to go. It is loud here in Cole Harbour. 2-goal lead for the Rage. Here's Norris. Over to Trudell. Chipped into the zone by Arsenault. Back to retrieve as Linus Braun, the Austrian, has the puck. Braun loses it. Good forecheckers. Baldwin looking to wrap it through, and Landry was on the other side. That could have been a goal for Baldwin. Here come the Cougars the other way. With the puck is Wilson. He has it down low. Gets tangled up with Trudell in the corner. Battle ensues. Here's Arsenault over to Price. Blake Price has the puck. Will play it off the wall. Here's Graves. Sends it over to Braun. Linus Braun has the puck. Sends it over. Here's O'Neill. Lachlan O'Neill over to Bonar in the middle. Bonar's shot will go off the pad and wide. Rebound collected. Here's O'Neill again. Play to the boards. Sent back down low. There's a hit on the wall. There's a block from Arsenault on the point shot from Graves. Here's McNeil. Sent towards the middle. Picked up by Price. 1.5 to go. Here's Baldwin. Will send it over the wall. Braun will take a quick look before picking up the puck. Here's Braun. Up for Marsh. Marsh loses at the blue line. That's going to be no offside. Not sure why. Here's O'Neill. Gets taken down. No call there. Here's Graves. Graves will burst his way through the middle of the ice, and there's the offside call. With 1:18 to go in the second period, the Rage have scored 3 goals here in the second to take the lead 4-2. This period started 1-0. 1-1 as the Rage have clawed their way back. So it was 1-0 after the first. Rage scored early in the period, so they scored 4 goals here in the second period. There's Dando. Up for White. Here comes Cole Harbour. White on hat-trick watch. Shot towards the goal. Kept out. Rebound save. They blow it down. Puck was well loose. Referee lost sight. I'll do my best to bite my tongue here. 66 seconds remaining in the second. Another blown call from the referees. That puck was loose in front. They blew it down early. Face off inside the Cougars zone. Chevry will take it for the Rage. One ahead as the Cougars will take over. Sent towards the boards. Knocked down by Simon. He has the puck in the O zone. Sent on net. Here's a chance for Chevry in the back door. That's going to be kept out by Landry as we're now inside the final 60 seconds of the frame. 4-2 lead for Cole Harbour here at home. Chevry will stay out there for this face-off of White and Simon. Buckley will take it for the Cougars. 2 rookies in the draw. Here's Simon. Takes the shot, plays over to Dando. Shot through the screen. Rebound! Kept out by Landry. Great job from Dando to get that puck through from the blue line. Sifter's shot looking to create a rebound, and that's exactly what happened in front of the net. 51 seconds remaining in the period. Chevry against Buckley once again for the face-off. To the blocker side of Landry this time. Puck is dropped. One back. Here's White. Over for Carroll. One-timer. Fanned on. Hutt will chip out of the zone as Carroll finishes his hit. Here comes Buckley the other way with Timmins. Buckley can't get to the puck as Simon on the back check negates the scoring chance. Good job for number 5 to get back on defense. Here's Carroll. He has the puck behind his own net. It gets hooked from behind. No call on the play. Here's Simon through the middle of the ice. Picked up by Braun. Braun will get taken down. That will be a penalty, and that's going to be touched up and whistled down. As Simon will head to the box for tripping. No argument there from him. There's a signal from the referee. So a late second period power play for the Cougars. 1 for 2 so far tonight. It's the team from North Sydney. Braun, Barry, Timmins, Marsh, and Graves will be the 5 out there for the Jonelijim Group Cougars. One of the corner, chance for Norris to clear, kept in by Braun as the Cougars will set up on the man advantage. There's a shot from distance directed wide in the corner. Here's Graves, up for Braun. Braun back for Graves at the top of the circle, couldn't handle the pass. 8 seconds to go in the period. Here's Graves down low, takes a hit from Norris. McPhee looking for the loose puck, 4 seconds. He played to the middle with a chance for Barry. That's going to be blocked in front by Lewis, and that's going to do it. For the first 2 periods, the Cole Harbour Rage have a 2-goal lead heading into the third. You're watching High Button Sports. Our coverage of the Nova Scotia U15 Major Hockey League will continue after the intermission, but stay tuned in the break for my interview with Dean Smith. So, thank you for watching so far. We'll head to the break once again. 4-2 is the score for the Rage. Be back for the third period after the intermission. First off, Dean, thank you for agreeing to do this interview. Let's start with you talking about your role as chair of diversity and inclusion at Hockey Nova Scotia.
Yeah, so I serve as chair of diversity and inclusion with Hockey Nova Scotia. That seat has been created as a result of a task force report that made a number of recommendations, and that was one of the recommendations, to create a seat that addresses diversity, inclusion, and a sense of welcoming in the game of hockey in the Nova Scotia. So I currently sit in that role, and my job is to execute on 9 recommendations that the task force put forth to address racism and discrimination in the game.
The Voyageurs Hockey Club, they hosted last weekend a similar game to tonight, Black History Month celebration game. Rage are doing it again tonight. How important are these commemorative games, and are you hoping to see more teams do this in the future?
I think these commemorative games are incredibly important, and it's, I think, a true example of allyship. Huge thank you to the Rage for inviting us here tonight and hosting. Huge shout out to the Cougars and the U15 Major League for being a really great ally when it comes to celebrating Black history in the province of Nova Scotia.
What would you say, in your opinion, Dean, is the biggest obstacle that racialized youth face trying to get into hockey here in the province?
I think the biggest challenge that we've been noticing is access to the game. I think at Hockey Nova Scotia we run a number of access programs, a Black Youth Ice Hockey program. We also have the BIPOC Advancing Hockey program, which is dedicated to more advanced minor hockey league players currently in the game. I think once we get a critical mass of players in the game, I think they can support themselves, and I think we can address racism that way. So more access to the game, and I think we should be on our way.
Do you think, in your professional opinion, creating safe spaces in regards of aspects of racism, do you think it's still a problem here in Nova Scotia?
Well, if I said it wasn't a problem, I wouldn't have a job anymore. So, yeah, I do believe it is still a challenge. I think Hockey Nova Scotia emphasizes zero tolerance for racism and discrimination. We're certainly not naive to think we'll ever get to zero, but there's always work to be done. And I think if we continue to have commemorative games like this, bringing public awareness to the game and the challenges in the game for underrepresented communities, I think it will go a long way increasing participation in the game by diverse communities, yes.
Awesome. Thank you again for taking the time, and hope you enjoy the game.
Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
Welcome back inside Scotia 1. What a game you have in store so far. As the Rage are celebrating Black History Month tonight, and they have a 4-2 lead heading into the third period. As we are now back underway, the Cougars are down by a pair here in the third. Some fresh ice out there. Hope you enjoyed the interview with Dean Smith, the Chair of Diversity and Inclusion for Hockey Nova Scotia. That's going to be sent in deep, so the Cougars are still in the power play to start off the third. There's Braun over to Graves. Graves shot, scores! That did not take long. It's a one-goal game. Just 31 seconds into the period. Sam Graves makes it 4-3 in his usual spot at the top of the circle on the power play. So buckle up, folks. We have a even better third period now. It's a one-goal game. Early goal from the Cougars on the man advantage. Their second power play goal of the night. Sam Graves on the top of the circle shot. He's done that so many times this year, and he does it again to make it a one-goal contest. There's Norris up for Price. Norris gets it back, sent up ahead. That will get past the stick of Arsenault, and that will be an icing call against Cole Harbour. So 4-3 to score now. Rage just iced the puck. Baldwin will take the face-off against Wilson. Puck played to the wall. Here is Arsenault. He'll chip it out of the zone. Graves there to recollect it. Sam Graves, the captain, just scored to make this a one-goal game. He'll circle back on neutral ice. Graves can't get by Dando. Gets it right back as him and Dando collide. That will be played to the middle off a poke check that will escape the zone. Here's Braun. Linus Braun will backpedal towards his own zone and send it in deep. Hits a stick, and that will be played inside the Rage end. Norris back to retrieve it. He'll lose the puck. Here's O'Neill. O'Neill shot off the post. Rebound gloved away. O'Neill gets it back up top for Barry. Barry shot will be off the pad. Rebound just sent over the net. That was a close call. It's been all Cougars here to start the third period. Here comes Cruz Baldwin over to Price. Blake Price will try and make a move past the defender. Has it in the corner, sent towards the goal as Arsenault finds it on the opposite wall. He'll send it back in deep for Baldwin. Baldwin finds Price. He'll lose it, but Baldwin gets it right back. Sent on goal. Scores! Rage get it right back. It's a two-goal lead once more. Arsenault finds the rebound on the doorstep. This line has been buzzing all night long. Arsenault gets the goal. Rage have a bit of insurance here. They now are back up by 2. 5 goals for Cole Harbour tonight. An offensive outburst for the Rage here at home. Here's Simon over to Trudell. Will play it across off the stick of Marsh. Kept in. Marsh will play it in the corner. Takes a hit from Simon. Put it on the line. Here's Sims. DD pass over to Graves. Graves will hesitate. Eventually shoots it. Blocked in front by Carroll. Rebound whacked away. Puck is bouncing. Play to the wall. Simon will ship it inside the Rage bench, and that will stop play. Josh Arsenault on the doorstep. Off the rebound. Finds the back of the net for Cole Harbour. 2-goal lead once more for the Rage. Face off inside their zone. Puck drop. Here's Carroll. Pull a rim around the wall. Kept in by Graves. Or no, that's going to bounce off of his stick as Sims back to retrieve it. Here is Vinny Sims. He'll turn it over. White has the puck. He has 2 goals tonight, looking for the hat trick. White on the wall. Looking to play it towards the blue line and eventually gets it up top. Here's Trudell. Shot low. Will be wrecked in the corner. Here's Chevry. Has the puck. Loses it as Graves takes it for him. Chevry gets it back. Here's Landon Chevry. Cycle down low for White. Looking to return it over to White. That will come free as Marsh will send it in deep. Carroll Makes the play up the board. Chevry finds it. Chevry will play it up the ice. Gets poked off by McNeil. Here come the Cougars. McNeil enters the zone. That's going to be no offside as he did not enter past the blue line. Here's Braun. Linus Braun will play it through the middle of the ice. Off the bench is McPhee. Has the goal tonight, and he has the puck on his stick inside his own zone. McPhee off the wall. Picked off by Barry. Barry sent over for Parks. Let's go off of his body. Here comes Donaldson the other way for the Rage. Donaldson with Bourgogne drive the net. Braun and Donaldson tangled up down low in the corner on the far side. Comes free for the Cougars. That's going to be poked back in the opposite corner by the Rage. Here is Hutt. He'll lose the puck as Bourgogne disrupts him. Chance the other way. Now here comes Parks. Parks 1-on-2. Will get by Dando, but can't get by Donaldson in the back check. Lewis back to retrieve the puck as he came back on defense. He'll flick it through neutral ice, and that will bounce its way into the zone. Perfect clear by Lewis. Here's Braun. Linus Braun looking to start the comeback once again for the Cougars. They had leads in this game, but are now down by a pair here in Cole Harbour. Ball will chip it ahead. Here is Linus Braun. Will play it over as McNeil will one-time that into the zone. Just past the 4-minute mark here in the third period. Rage holding on to a 2-goal lead. It's 5-3 as Dando will head and man that pass up to neutral ice for Donaldson, who will use his stick to deflect that in the zone. Cougars have it. Sent up ahead out of the reach of Graves as Trudell will take over for Cole Harbour. Here is Chaden Trudell over to Nathan Norris, the rookie. Norris will scan the ice looking for an option. Goes up the wall. It's going to be turned over as Dylan Dixon has the puck. He'll play it over to Graves. One touch through middle of the ice. Off the stick of Surratt. That's going to come free for Norris. He'll go over to Trudell. Trudell back for Norris. Norris will play it up the wall. Arsenal one-touch pass for Baldwin. The Rage are doing a great job of breaking out their own zone tonight. Here's Baldwin looking for Price. Picked off. Here's Graves. Makes a nice move. Here's Graves. Another nice move. Graves towards the goal. Off a stick, and that'll be covered up by Gould. Takes a whack from Graves and gets one right back from Trudell in the defense of his goaltender. Another whistle is blown. Might see a penalty or no. Not sure. We just passed the 5-minute mark of the third. Both teams have scored a goal in this period. Rage had the most recent one as they have a 2-goal lead, 5-3. Chevry against Marsh inside the Rage zone on the blocker's side of Gould. One back, but off the stick of Bernard. He gets it right back. He'll play it in deep. Norris back to retrieve the puck. Nathan Norris will get taken down behind the net. Puck comes free. There's a shot from O'Neill. That will just be kept out. That puck bounced to the blue paints as Gould makes the save. He played in deep. Cougars have it sent towards the goal. It's going to go off a stick and bounce up high. Here's Sims. Shot blocked. Rebound cleared away. Here's White. He'll go off the wall, and that will make its way inside the Cougars zone. O'Neill back to retrieve it. O'Neill finds Braun. Up for Marshall. Go off his skate. Puck is bouncing over the stick of Chevry. Marshall try and get past Beaton. Puck comes free. Here's O'Neill. Takes a hit from Carroll. Puck comes free. Save made by Gould. Big collision in front of the Rage net as Captain Carroll flexing his muscles as he has the puck again. Here comes Bryce Carroll with the puck. He'll play it towards the goal, and that's going to be covered up by Landry. Back and forth like a teeter-totter here tonight in Cole Harbour. Bryce Carroll had himself a heck of a game on both sides of the puck. He's a little slow, but you know he'll be ready to go for this face-off. McPhee in for the draw against McNeil. Puck is dropped. One back. Here's Don Bourgogne. Bourgogne shot will go into the glove. No rebound from Landry. 1 second past the 6-minute mark of the third period here in Cole Harbour. It's still 5-3 for the Rage here at home. We'll redo that exact same draw. Puck dropped. One back. Chance for the Cougars to clear. Kept in by Lewis at the blue line. Here's Charlie Lewis looking to work his way down low, sent towards the middle. Puck is bouncing in the slot. Timmins will poke it free. Here comes McNeil. Luke McNeil way to the middle as Hutt will spin and fire one inside the zone. Lewis back to retrieve the puck. Lewis will lose it behind his own net, but regains possession up ahead. Here's Donaldson. Will fake the cross-ice pass and then send it in deep as he gets to the red line. Back to retrieve the puck is Barry. Barry, nice move to get by Bourgogne on the forward check. Here's Dylan Barry. He'll go off the glass as Carroll will collect the puck. Carroll over to Lewis just out of his reach on the D-to-D pass. Lewis able to corral it and he'll flick it through neutral ice. Glove down by Timmins. That's going to be offside at the line. That will stop play. Mentioned before, but I'll say it again. Great crowd on hand here tonight in Scotia 1. Both sides filling in the stands. Baldwin will take the neutral zone draw right in front of the Rage bench against McNeil. Puck is dropped. That's going to be played to the wall. Comes free for the Cougars. Here is Braun. Played to the middle. Baldwin will intercept it, but Timmins gets it right back and he'll play it in deep. Gould out to play the puck. Leaves it for Lucas Dando, his assistant captain. He has the puck behind the net. 7 minutes have gone here in the third. It's still 5-3. Here comes Dando. Nice head fake and makes the move. Dando shot will go past the blocker. Rebound will bounce free. Is Arsenault looking for it? He has the most recent goal in this game, Josh Arsenault. Baldwin looking for the puck on the forecheck. Gets poked off of his stick. Cougars have possession in the corner. Played back in deep. Here's Braun. Linus Braun will headman the puck up for Graves. Graves will chip it out the wall. It looks like Graves will be playing a lot of this third period. He has the puck again. Here comes Sam. Graves will shoot one off the shaft of the stick, and that will go out of play. A very dangerous threat from the blue line is number 8, Sam Graves. Has a goal tonight and plenty on the year. Him and his team will try and mount a comeback here as we're approaching the halfway mark of the third. Chevry will take the face-off for the Rage against Kellen Buckley, 2 highly touted rookies in this league. Puck is dropped, one back for Graves. Graves will make a nice move with a blue line shot, tip just over the net. Sifter's shot from Graves in the blue line, tipped in front by Buckley just over the net. Beautiful look there from the Cougars looking to get back into this game. Here's Charlie Lewis. There's a bit of interference on Chevry, no call. There's a hit on Lewis on the forecheck from Marsh. Played to the middle. Here's White looking to poke it free over to Simon. Simon loses it as Braun will intercept the pass. He finds Graves. Here's Sam Graves. Will get by Norris. Still has the puck. Graves shot. Kept out. Rebound covered up by Gould as he takes a shove from Graves shy of the net hard. And a bit of a scrum here as watch out of nowhere as flying in to get a piece of Lewis was Wyatt Wilson. That should be a penalty, and it is. Referee has his arm up. Wilson came flying through from out of the zone. Referee's discussing the play. You gotta think that's gonna be a Rage power play. They're still discussing it. I'm not sure if that camera caught it, but Lewis got hit by Wilson, who came flying into the zone well after the whistle. Wilson will retreat to the bench trying to escape the referee, but the arm came up. They're still discussing the play. Obviously a very pivotal call in this stages of a 2-goal game in the third. Looks like we're ready to hear the official call. So a power play for Cole Harbour. 5 fingers up in one hand and 4 in the other. So Wilson will head to the box. They might take both players in that scrum, Lewis and Wilson. But Wilson might get the extra 2. We'll see what the call is. No official signal yet. As they have 8 on the board for the penalty. So this could go to Graves. A lot of confusion here. Cougars are still lining up in the O-zone, while the Rage are over in power play formation in the Cougars' end. Cougars will make their way over to their D-zone. Looks like Graves out of the box. So it will be a Rage power play. A lot of confusion there. I thought it was Wilson who came through with that extra hit, but either way, Rage will take it. They're up a man. They're up by 2. We just passed the 8-minute mark of the third. Bit of a delay there before we get going for this power play. Gives the Rage a chance to catch their breath. That's going to be dropped. Here's Chevry in the corner. Chevry and Baldwin will give him some support. Played back in deep. Chevry loses it as Sims will pin it to the wall behind the net. So Lewis gets a call. So does Graves and Wilson. So Cougars get the extra penalty on the play. So Lewis in the box for the Rage. Here's Chevry down low. Chevry over to White, who has 2 goals tonight. Up for Dando. Dando's shot will be stopped by Landry. You got to think Landry's got to be perfect here if the Cougars want to come back and tie this game. Cougars will make a few changes on the penalty kill after the whistle. Rage will get the same 5 out there for this man advantage. Puck dropped. Braun against Chevry for the loose puck as the Cougars are just trying to pin that puck to the wall behind their own net. Here's Dando up top. Dando will bait the defender. Plays over to Carroll. Carroll will let a shot go just past the crossbar and over the net. Carroll is having himself one heck of a game here tonight. Well, defending well as he usually does, and he's even chipping in on the offensive end. He had his assist this evening. Great rush from him over in the second period. He gets the puck again. Here's Carroll through the middle. That puck will come free. Sent in deep. That's going to be offside at the line. Rage will make some changes. Exactly 1 minute has gone on their power play. Donaldson, Arsenault, Norris, Trudell, and Simon will be the 5 new players out there for Cole Harbour. Puck is dropped. Here's Norris over to Simon. Simon up for Trudell. Trudell will enter the zone and backhand it in deep. Out to play it as Landry. We'll leave it for Barry. That's going to be sent down the ice as Dixon got the clear. Here's Gould approaching the halfway mark of the third. 40 seconds to go in the Rage power play. Here's Nakai Simon. Plays it over to Trudell. He'll bobble the puck for a moment, able to corral it. Trudell will play it in deep around the wall. Landry can handle it cleanly. Arsenault gets there first. Arsenault, nice move off the wall. Will play it back on the half wall for Norris. Rage able to set up here on the power play. Here's Simon up top. Simon shot into the glove. No rebound from Landry. Carroll will head out there to replace Norris. Arsenault, who has a goal tonight, will take the face-off against Timmins. Puck hits the ice. One back for the Cougars, and that's going to get past Simon, who probably should have used his glove there to catch that midair, but he tried to whack it with his stick. 10 seconds to go in the power play. As we are now halfway through the frame, 10 minutes to go here in the third. That's going to be cleared down once again. That's going to do it for the Rage power play. Gould out the plate. He'll flick it off the glass. Cougars have it as Graves can handle it. Here comes Arsenault the other way with numbers for the Rage. Arsenault will chip it into the zone. Arsenault gets to the puck first. Arsenault will try and work it towards the goal. His player taken down on the slot. Pinching in is Dando. Keeps it inside the zone. Donaldson looking to break loose. Sent up ahead. Puck is bouncing for Graves as Donaldson has the puck now. As he'll fire it back in deep. Out to play it as Landry. Use it for Barry. There's Dylan Barry. The defenseman will chip it up ahead for Parks, but it's going to be offside, and that will be an icing call. Parks cannot touch the puck as he was on the wrong side of the blue line, and that made it an icing. 9 1/4 to go now here in the third. 2-goal spread in favor of the Rage here tonight. McPhee against Timmins for the draw. Cougars had too many players out there, so they'll send one off. That was McNeil. Puck dropped. Shot will go wide. Here's Bonar. It takes a hit from Price. I'm being told it's pronounced differently. That's going to be played to the wall. Here's Timmins. Timmins has it behind his own net. Up the boards. Gets the puck right back. As Cougars have the puck. Good hit on the forecheck from Price. Here's Dixon. Dylan Dixon will try and poke it through the middle. McPhee able to hold the puck inside the zone. Good forecheck from Cole Harbour. Price finds it, sends it towards the goal. Tipped on that, rebounds there. Another save from Landry as McPhee had 2 chances in front. Centering pass will be picked off by Boner. Here's Norris. Norris sent towards the goal, picked off. Price finds it, it's going to bounce its way up top. McPhee sent in deep. Barry back to retrieve it, as that's going to make its way over to Parks. Parks can't get by Price in the forecheck. That will be played inside the zone. Here's Bourgogne. Bourgogne loses it. Here come the Cougars now. Dixon has the puck. He'll lead the rush for the Cougars. Takes it wide. Can't get by Norris. As Norris will flick it up the wall. It's going to bounce back for Dixon. Shot past the glove and wide. Good look there for the Cougars. Here's Braun up top. Braun's shot will be off behind the net. Comes free. There's Surratt. Surratt will saucer it up the wall. This can be played outside the zone. As Parks thought he had a man at the blue line, but the Cougars were changing and that's going to be sent back in deep. Dando will up the wall for Simon. Kept in for a moment. Simon gets it right back. Here comes the Harbour Rage. Simon up for White. He has 2 goals tonight. Looking to center it for Dando. Comes free back for White. Shot over. Looking for Chevrolet in the back door. Bounced over his stick. Sent back towards the net. That's going to be played to the blue line. Kept in by Simon. Here's Nakai. Simon makes a move. Trying to play it down low off a skate. Wilson will take over. Here comes Wilson. Wyatt Wilson takes it wide. Past Lewis. Will get hit in the wall. That's going to be a penalty on the play. And that will be touched up. Or no, the Rays touched it twice. They don't blow it down. As Sims will retreat, trying to extend this man advantage. Vinny Sims will play it behind his own net. You can see the net is empty for the extra attacker on the delayed call. Here comes Vinny Sims. Takes it wide. Will chip it ahead. That's going to be touched up by Lewis. And finally they blow the whistle after the third touch for the Rage. Boarding's the call. Lewis went back to the penalty box. He's in disbelief. With 6.5 remaining. Cougars have a chance to get back within 1. Barry, Braun, Graves, O'Neill, and Timmins went out there. Cougars have 2 power play goals tonight. Looks like the Rage just called a timeout as they'll talk things over. Let's take a break up here in the booth. You're watching High Button Sports. Be back after the timeout. Welcome back to CHP. 2-goal lead for Cole Harbour. They have just taken a penalty. The Cougars have a chance to get within reach. They have 2 power play goals tonight, the Cougars do. One came from that man right there with the puck. As Braun gets the pass from Graves. Over to Barry. Barry will walk in and shoot one. That will go off a stick and out of play. As Carroll got his body in front of that one, deflected it into the netting, sorry. Timmins against Baldwin for the face-off to the glove side of Gould. Puck is dropped. One back to the point. Here's Braun, the quarterback of this power play. Braun will shoot one through the screen. Tipped. Saved by Gould. That's a big stop from the Rage netminder. Off the deflection and changed directions in front. But Gould with the pad keeps it a 5-3 score. Here's Braun. Over to Graves. Sam Graves has the puck on the far side. He'll fake the shot. Holds on to it. Up top for Braun. Enos Braun towards the middle. Over to Barry. Barry will hesitate and play it back towards the blue line. Back up top. Here's Braun. Braun will walk in. Fakes it. Over to Barry. Barry shot. Tip. Rebound. Right onto the stick of Baldwin, who will clear it down the ice. 5:45 to go in the third. Landry out to play the puck. Leaves it for Braun. Same 5 will stay out there for the Cougars on this power play. Here's Linus Braun. Over to Barry. Barry enters his zone on the left side. Barry puts the brakes on. Back up top for Braun. That's just out of his reach, and that will escape the zone. Linus Braun will take it from back behind his own net on the regroup. Braun Fakes one way, goes the other. Finds O'Neal, has a golden night. O'Neal towards the middle, shot into the glove of Gould, no rebound. There's a slash in front of the net. As O'Neal came looking for that rebound, Dando said, nuh-uh, not on my goalie. New unit out there for the Cougars. 5:11 to go in the period. 31 seconds remaining on the Rage penalty. Puck drop, one back to the line. Here's Dylan Dixon. Dixon played towards the half wall, picked up by McPhee. Good anticipation for number 93. He'll send it down the ice. 20 seconds to go on the Lewis penalty. Here come the Cougars. Here's Timmins. Buckley has it. Kellen Buckley will play it back towards the top of the zone, but Burgoyne will intercept it and send it down the ice. A much better penalty kill for Cole Harbour this time around. As we're back to 5 apiece, Rage with a big penalty kill. 4.5 remaining in the third. Here come the Cougars. Marsh can get the pass. Buckley takes over. That's going to be offside at the line. Exactly 4:30 on the clock here in the third period. In for the face-off is Parks against Dominic Burgoyne. Puck is dropped. One back by the Cougars. Surratt will find Graves. Takes a hit from Carroll at the top of the zone. Donaldson can clear. Graves still has it. Makes a move past Price. Graves shot. Scores! Sam Graves double dips tonight. Top shelf. It's a one-goal game once again. Rage had a few chances to clear at the top of the zone. You can't give that guy too many chances to score. Sam Graves has 2 on the evening. And with 4:16 to go in the third, it is 5-4 here in Cole Harbour. There's Lewis. Puck will bounce its way out of the zone. That's going to find the stick of Graves. Once again, he was on hat-trick watch. Graves had a hat-trick earlier this season against the Rage. So 5 goals for him against Cole Harbour this season. Here's Lewis. Lewis will go up the wall looking to clear. Kept in by Graves. He can't hold the zone. That will get past his stick. Chance either way. Here comes White. Alex White trying to go wide, but Graves gets back on the D side to prevent a scoring chance. 3:40 to go. Here's Vinny Sims behind his own net, trying to get by Simon on the forecheck. Sims can't clear. Kept in by Chevry. Chevry trying to find Simon, but he hits a skate. Here's Hutt as Carroll will collect the puck. Carroll over to Trudell. Trudell will go off the wall. That will make its way free inside the neutral zone. Here's Surratt with the puck on his own blue line. Will play it over for Braun. Here's Linus Braun as a shot will go off the stick into the corner. 3 minutes to go now here in the third. It's a one-goal game. Here's Bryce Carroll, loses the puck. Chance for Wilson all alone. Wilson the backhand, kept out by Gould. There's a hit in front of the net by Lewis, and here we go. That was Price delivering the boom in front of the net. That should be probably a penalty on number 27. Not what you want to do late in the game. As the medical staff will hit the ice. So, player back on his feet, that's O'Neal. He'll get escorted back to the bench. Looks like it'll be another Cougars power play. As Blake Price came soaring towards the crease. Takes a penalty in the late stages of a one-goal game. He can't do that. Timmins, Barry, Braun, Marsh, and Graves back out there for the power play. Puck is dropped. Here's Carroll. Carroll will slap it around the wall. Kept in at the line by Graves. Graves as Arsenal will poke it out of the zone. Here's Braun. Braun will circle back behind his own net. Here's Linus Braun over to Captain Graves. He'll have that hop over his stick and cleared down by Carroll. Puck comes loose. Baldwin trying to dig it free as Arsenault joins the battle. Played back. There's Ethan Marsh with the puck on his stick. 2.5 to go in the third. Net is not empty yet for the Cougars, but you got to think they're going to do that soon for the extra attackers. They're down by a goal, and they're up a man. Here's Braun. Linus Braun with 1:13 to go in the power play. Enters his zone on the near side. Braun puts the brakes on. Up top looking for Timmins. Out off a stick and out of the zone. Barry against Baldwin for the loose puck. Who wants to get there first? It looks like it's going to be Baldwin who gets taken down. No call on the play. Here comes the Cougars. Here's Graves. Gets by Dando. Graves. Shot off the blocker. Rebound. Scores. Unbelievable. A clear penalty on the other side. Graves gets the hat trick. And it's a 5-5 score. Unbelievable. The Rage have done themselves no favors with their penalties, but Baldwin was clearly tripped into the Cougars bench. No call, and it's now 5-5. There's Trudell. Over to Dando. Dando fans on it. Here comes Wilson. Wilson shot off the side of the net. Rebound behind the cage. 1:40 to go here in regulation. Chevry gets tangled up behind the net. Trudell. Battle ensues in the corner. 1.5 remaining here in the third. Sam Graves with the hat trick. His second hat trick against Cole Harbour this season. Here come the Rage. Dando has it. Dando shot will be blocked. Rebound sent towards the goal. Blocked again. Here's Dixon. As Dando bats out of midair, and that'll be a whistle. 70 seconds remaining in the third. Cougars have come back from a 2-goal deficit to make it 5-5. Carroll, Lewis, McPhee, Baldwin, and Arsenault are out there for Cole Harbour for this neutral zone draw. One back for the Cougars. Here's Graves, who has the hot stick tonight. Plays it over. Play to the middle. Marsh has it. Takes a hit from Baldwin. Sent in deep as we're inside the final minute of the third. Carroll loses the puck in the corner as McPhee finds it. Here comes Shake McPhee. Has Arsenault with him. McPhee takes it wide on the entry. McPhee's shot will go off the shoulder and into the corner. 43 seconds to go. Cougars have a chance to clear. Here's Timmins. Has Baldwin on him. Timmins will wrap it around the wall for Graves. Graves sent back in deep for Barry. Barry on his stick will play it towards the middle. It's going to be chipped into the zone. As Gould will let that go behind him. Carroll collects it from behind his own net. 20 seconds remaining in the game. Here comes Bryce Carroll. He'll lead the rush for Cole Harbour. Carroll still has the puck. Will enter the zone. Fans on the shot. As able to get a piece of it to keep it inside the zone. 10 seconds remaining. Here come the Cougars. Hit along the wall. Here is McNeil. McNeil will chip it inside the zone. Puck is bouncing. 2 seconds down, 1, and we're going to overtime. 60 minutes, or 55 minutes, was not enough to decide a winner. We'll play 3-on-3 OT, and then a shootout if there's no goal after 5 minutes. You're watching High Button Sports. Be back after the break. Welcome back to Scotia 1. It's 5-5 heading into overtime. Rage versus Cougars on a Saturday night at CHP. We'll play 3-on-3 for 5 minutes. Let's try and decide a winner. White, Simon, and Carroll out there for Cole Harbour. Timmins, Braun, and Sam Graves. So as a hat trick tonight, will be the 3 for the Cougars. We're underway here in OT. 2 defensemen out there for the Cougars, Braun and Graves. Here's Graves from behind his own net. He'll lead the rush in overtime. Graves takes it wide. Graves towards the net. Shot will just go over the net and wide. Braun collects at the blue line. Here's Linus Braun towards the middle of the line. Will fake the draw pass. Holds on to the puck. Has White on him. Braun holding on to the puck. 30 seconds have gone in overtime. Braun still has it at the lane of that. Shot just goes wide. Good look there. That might have been a stick on the way through as Carroll finishes his hit in the corner. Here's Graves. Graves' shot will go over the net. Puck free in the corner. Simon will play it up ahead. Here comes Carroll. One-on-one with Braun. Carroll will take it wide on the near side. Bryce Carroll puts the brakes on, looking for a trailer perhaps, sent towards the goal as Simon couldn't accept the pass as he was tangled up in front. We're 1 minute into overtime. Linus Braun still out there for the Jonelijim Group Cougars as Graves onto the bench. Braun plays it over. Here comes Wyatt Wilson with the puck as Barry has it. Barry towards the middle. Shot! Scores! Dylan Barry ends the game in overtime. The Cougars come back from 2 down in the third. Heartbreaking loss to the Rage at home. Dylan Barry is the hero this evening. What a game we were just treated to tonight. 6-5 will be your final score. Barry goes over the glove of Gould. That's going to do it for our coverage of this one. Thank you so much for watching our coverage of the Nova Scotia U15 Major Hockey League. My name is Mason Knight with High Button Sports. Hope you enjoyed the game and the call. As we'll sign off and say sayonara from Scotia 1. Thanks again for watching. See you again later.